Today I am going to be reviewing a book from my last book haul, and it is Small Horrors by Darcy Coates, and I just wanted to, let you know if this is a book worth picking up. So to begin with, this is a collection of stories, and it's not like a whole, one story, obviously. So if you're a fan, which I am, of, like creepypastas or r/no sleep on Reddit, then, and you're kind of into those sort of short horror stories, then this might be the one for you. I will say this book left much to be desired, mostly because it wasn't scary. None of these stories were scary, and that's the whole job of a horror story. It's all very cliche. There's not really much originality in this book, and as far as the style of writing goes, it's pretty simple, and like I said, it has a lot of these cliches, like you would totally expect. Like, I could predict nearly every single one of these stories. Like, I knew the formula, I knew what was going to happen. So for that, it's really, I feel bad because there's not much to say about this book in particular, but it does make me a little nervous to read her other book, or their other book, that I got from Second and Charles, because if it's the same predictability, the same, simple writing style, which there's nothing wrong with a simple writing style, it's just when it crosses over into so simplistic and predictable and formulaic. So I'm kind of worried about reading The Haunting of Blackwood House, the other book that I got from them. But like I said, these books, or this book, is just, I'm not going to say not good, because it's not that it's bad, it's just that it's very simplistic, and there's not a lot of substance to the writing or to the stories themselves. I could not really get into any of these stories, and the problem I have with short story collections is that I feel like I don't have enough time to get to know one character before I'm thrown into another character's story. And with how short these stories are, I don't have enough time to immerse myself in the setting, or the conflict, or the actual horror of it all, before I'm just, taken out of that one, and here's the next one, and, this is Jill's problem, okay, now we're done with that, now it's Bill's problem. So I love short stories, don't get me wrong, but I think collections of short stories are where I kind of start to, get a little bored is the only word coming to mind, because I'm being tossed around into so many different stories, and plus a lot of the stories didn't really work, in the sense that, I know I've said that they weren't scary, but some of them just didn't work because they were so outlandish, and horror is obviously a genre where you can be outlandish, and it's not like, you have to be super realistic with horror, but there was just some stuff that when you got to the end, it's just like, oh, this crazy thing happened, but there's not really an explanation for it, or there's not really a satisfying ending. It's just like, here's a person. This person is encountering something a little weird. Weird thing happens, and the end. It's just not very satisfying, and it's not why I love horror. I love horror because I love to be scared. I love to have that thrill of excitement. And while it takes a little bit more for horror books to give me that sense, I do believe it can be done. Obviously, it can be done. But I think that horror movies have a bit of an edge on horror books, because with a horror movie, like, it's literally giving you something to sense with, like, your five senses. Like, you can see the monster, you can hear the monster, you can, you can see it, like, right in front of you, or, it's implied to be right in front of you. And, being a visual sort of culture, I think it's really difficult to pull off a actually scary horror book. When I think of, like, my favorite horror movies, they work because of the atmosphere, and they work because of the characters. And this book just didn't have, that atmosphere or the characters. It was all just very, snap your fingers and it's over. I know that it's usually said that to understand a genre and to write in a genre, you need to read a lot of that genre. But I would also recommend that horror writers become avid horror movie fans, because I just think that horror movies can provide such a good, template for a book. And I know that a lot of writers, like, they talk about how they just see scenes in their head and how they see the book playing out before them as a movie. And I just think, if you become, like, an avid horror movie watcher, you start to pick up really quickly on the things that make something scary, if it's a good horror movie. Now, there's all different types of subgenres of horror that work for different reasons, but the intention is to scare. And I think that, and maybe this is the most obvious thing in the world, that you watch horror movies and I think you become a better horror writer. I haven't really, there's not much to say about this book. It's just, it's just, it is what it is. But like I said, if you're looking for a book that maybe you just want to read casually and you just kind of want to, if you want a horror story once in a while, you pick this up and read it. But it's not like a masterpiece or anything. So yeah, I know this was a very short review, and I kind of went off on a tangent about, actually writing horror books instead of reviewing this book. But like I said, it was very simple, so there's not really much to talk about. Hopefully with the next two books I'll have, actual things to say about it, because it was an actual plot, a consistent plot in one story and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, pick up this book if you want to. It's good for the casual read. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube things. Comment down below some of your favorite horror movies and horror short stories or books, and just tell me why they, get under your skin, why they, scare you. So with that being said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.